Described by Brumbies coach Stephen Larkham as the best 13 in the world, and it is wonderful news, just reiterating. Len Ikitau has signed on with Australian Rugby, and we are very privileged to have that man joining us now on Rugby Heaven. Len Ikitau, well done on the deal, mate. Congratulations. We're very excited to have you committed to Australian Rugby through to the 2027 Rugby World Cup, but there is a little component in there for you to go and play overseas. Can you just explain how the deal works to us and to our viewers?
Oh yeah, thanks for that, guys. So I'll just head off to Exeter around October. Not sure exactly when, but yeah, I'll head over there and I'll do a season, about 9 months with Exeter, and then I'll come back down to Canberra and we'll go from there.
So, Lenny, that means that you'll play, obviously, all of this year up to the All Blacks Test match in Perth. I think that's early October. You go to Exeter, then you're available for the end-of-season tour in that Test match window. I think there's 3 Test matches, one against England, I think there's one Italy and maybe France. So you're available if you're selected for that series as well?
Yeah, I think I am. Still not sure which games I'm available for, but I think I'll get a few games in, which will be nice.
Len, we know you're really good mates with Noah Lolesio. Obviously, you'd be close mates with Tom, your teammate at the Brumbies. He's coming off contract at the end of the year. A couple of weeks ago, we heard Noah Lolesio is now announced he's going to be leaving. Do you have these conversations with the guys in the team? Are you openly talking about what your options are and what you're going to do?
Yeah, I had a chat with Noah about what he wanted to do. Obviously, he's one of my good mates, so just being able to back him and his decision and I guess what he wanted to do, and just as a good mate of Noah's, yeah, just being able to support him. And I just think he's happy now. He's got that sorted, and then he can kind of just focus on his footy there. And in terms of, I think you're talking about Tom Wright. I think Wrighty's been awesome for the Brums over the last couple of years, and just yeah, hoping he'll sort out his future in the next couple of weeks to be good for us.
So going to Exeter, you'll have Tom Hooper as well, your teammate, the Brumbies, going. Julian Heaven from the Waratahs. Of course, Nick White, you would be close mates with Nick White, has been there previously. Has he told you much, Whitey, about the shed down in Exeter and the crowd and the atmosphere down at the ground?
No, not really. I haven't really spoken to Whitey about it, but I will. But in terms of the crowd, I know that, you know, they're a good crowd. They're kind of, I guess, you know, very supportive of their players. And as you know, Tamati Tour, Scotty Seal's there. So, you know, they speak highly of the club and highly of the fans. And for me, I'm excited and ready to rip in when I get the chance.
Len, the Brumbies are obviously going along really well at the moment, sitting third in the Super Rugby Pacific ladder, wanting to go deep into the finals, and then we move on to the Wallabies against the Lions, that huge tour in the middle of this year. There's some massive goals I imagine you want to achieve before you do head over on that short stint to Exeter.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of want to finish with the Brums on a high. You know, we've gotten close the last couple of years, semi-final. So for us, it's about, you know, overcoming that and, you know, potentially making the finals, and then just hoping to see where we go from there.
Len, we're going to stay on Lions and Wallabies, and I want some real honesty from you here, mate. We get a lot of straight bats on this show, so this is your chance to just give it to us straight. Stephen Larkham comes out, he says you're the best 13 in the world. A lot of us here would agree, but mate, you played 12 against England at Twickenham last year, and people would almost say you're one of the best 12s in the world as well. Where do you prefer to play? And give us some insight into what it's like being a little bit closer to someone like Noah and having maybe Joseph Suaalii outside you. Where do you feel most comfortable? And if you had your choice, where do you want to play?
Yeah, it's a tough one because I did really enjoy playing 12 last year with the Wallabies, but I feel like I'm comfortable at 13. You know, I know the ins and outs. I know defensively it's pretty hard to defend in that channel, and then with 12 you're kind of closer to the ball. You know, you get to touch the ball a bit more and kind of set up the players around you. So for me it was awesome to be able to play with Joseph at 13. when he was playing 13. Sorry. So for me, I guess whatever's going to get me in the team.
Come on, mate. I said you got to be honest. Pick one. No, we're only kidding.
Hey, Lenny, what about Saturday night, a big clash against the Hurricanes, Anzac Day sort of games that are coming up? Of course, Friday night, the Reds will play the Blues in Brisbane, then you'll host the Hurricanes. Did you see much of the Hurricanes last week against the Force? What threats do you think they have?
Yeah, I think just watching that game was very physical. Both teams are physical, trying to win the physical battle. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. This week has been all about making sure that we're physical. We're making our tackles. We know that they're a team that love to play width to width. Using their big backs. So for us, it's nullifying that, and then just making sure that we take the opportunities when they come. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a grind, but I think the boys are looking forward to it.
And we're certainly looking forward to it as well. Len, can't wait to see you go head-to-head with Billy Proctor from the Hurricanes. Great to have you on Rugby Heaven. Great to have you committed to Australian rugby through to the World Cup in 2027, mate. Go well this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Your shout this weekend after the game too, Lenny.
He said that before. He's there. He can rebuttal. I thought you got it in before he had a chance to come back at you. It is quite a unique deal what Len Ikitau has signed. As he explained to us, he'll go to Exeter for 9 months and then come back to the Brumbies and Australian rugby. But even while he's over at Exeter, available for most of the Wallabies test matches. It's a unique way of doing things, Tim.
Yeah, I like it for the bigger, high-profile players, maybe the top 5 or 6 players in Australian rugby, because it allows them, one, to go off for just 9 months and not lose them for 3 years. That's what it is. And then you can come back, and he's available for nearly every single Wallaby test match that falls within the test match window. So he's available for the spring tour end of this season. Then he comes back, plays Exeter, comes back for the Rugby Championship and also the games prior to that. So I think it's a good move for him. Gets a chance to go offshore to Exeter, play some different footy, come back and be ready for Rugby World Cup.
I agree with everything Tim's just said, but it does create a precedence now, doesn't it? And I'm a little bit concerned for Rugby Australia and whoever's putting these contracts together, because now player agents, players are going to be coming and saying, well, hold on, I've got this idea. I want to go and play 3 months here and then come back and then go and then come back. And I can see these opportunities maybe getting a little bit complicated.
Yeah, it's such
how we balance
But it's such a competitive market offshore now. So, reportedly, over $750,000 for a 9-month contract for Len Ikitau, I think's good for Rugby Australia, because they can offset some of that for Len moving forward. So, and it doesn't. You're not going to miss Len Ikitau for 3 years. It's 9 months.
And important to note also, he's going to have a massive role to play in the coming months, particularly against the British and Irish Lions. He'll be one of the first picked in Joe Schmidt's Wallabies team.
I think that's what, he wants to play in the gold jersey, he wants to play for a long period of time. And I think that, yes, he's only signed till the end of 27, so he then might go back to Exeter if he likes it back there. Or he might say, no, I don't really like playing overseas. I want to stay in Australia and continue to play for the Brumbies.
The only other concern that I have is injuries. The major reason that we try and keep people here and committed is because we want to protect them in some way, shape or form. Him going overseas, if he has a major injury and then we lose him for that period that he's meant to be coming back, could become an issue for the Wallabies. But I guess that's looking at it negatively.
Yeah, I guess that's a risk even if he plays here. But my understanding is that Rugby Australia have had really open dialogue with Exeter all along the way. And something that the New Zealand Rugby Union have done with Geordie Barrett being at Leinster over in the URC is really keeping each other informed about the preparation stuff, the physical stuff and all of those sorts of things. So I think they'll keep that going.
And how good's Geordie been? He looks reborn.
Doesn't he? Yeah. But he's only played 39 test matches, Len Ikitau. He'll get close to 50 this year, and then all of a sudden he's got plenty left in him too.
Absolutely. Plenty more, and we look forward to him producing it for us. This weekend he'll be a key cog for the Brumbies, a massive match, Anzac round clash against the Hurricanes.